The Residents are an American art collective best known for their avant-garde music and multimedia works. They started as a group of high school friends in Shreveport, Louisiana. They started making amateur home recordings in 1965. In 1966, they decided to travel to San Francisco to join the budding hippie movement there. However, their truck broke down in San Mateo, California, so they decided to stay there. They named themselves the Residents after a rejection slip sent to them by Warner Brothers. So, over the years, they've made many avant-garde works of art of various amounts of strangeness, including releasing about 50 music albums. Mostly who they are as a secret. They don't give interviews, and at times their work has been deliberately provocative.
Hi, my name's Dan. So this is the second album by the Residents, depending on how you count them, apparently, because it depends on what you actually count as an album. There's a few kind of things under question. I have encountered this album before. In fact, I've reviewed it before. So can I be bothered to do all my history again? I used to do reviews on a blog using a different list. I abandoned that when I found this list because I like this list better than my old list. But they were on that list and they got reviewed. So that at that time, when I reviewed it, sort of like 3, 4 years ago, it was my first encounter with the Residents. So it came as quite a surprise to me when I first heard it. Um, in principle, I feel like I want to like the Residents. The kind of the premise of who they are and what they've done is something that I think I would applaud. In practice, I never seem to quite make it and enjoy it. This album, out of the maybe two or three that I've heard of theirs, is the closest I've got so far, and it's getting a positive score. It's just not a hugely positive score. So the structure here is there are two long medley tracks, and these are medleys of covers of 60s and maybe some of them are kind of just into the 70s songs. So some of them are recognizable. I don't know how many are not because um, the versions that they're producing of these songs are grotesquely brutalized. They're kind of slapped about until they're barely standing. So there's some skill involved here. I think I would describe some of it as stealth skill. And mostly, this is all done in a way that is deliberately bad. So we've got bad singing, we've got out of tune music, we've got out of time stuff, we've got things playing in different keys at the same time, we've got weird sounds and sound effects, we've got weird production, we've got strange voices being pulled, which is part of the satirical effect, I understand. So I'm going to describe this as being it's like its relation to the originals is this is like a lasagna, and if you imagine the lasagna was the originals, but this is a badly charred lasagna that features lettuce and mackerel served in a sieve. It's just it's recognizable, but it really is very much yeah, being taken into the emergency room because it's been so beaten up. There's a particular absurdist sense of humour going on here, which is the same kind of, in some ways, sense of humour as some of Zappa's stuff, Frank Zappa's stuff. It takes it to more extremes here. I feel kind of fundamentally that I kind of get the whole thing of doing satire by doing something badly on purpose, which is a bit like when somebody says, "Oh, I think it's terribly important," and then somebody's like, "Yeah, I think it's terribly important." You're doing this parody of them. But I also feel like doing stuff badly is just an easy win, and it's maybe a little bit too easy to do. Um, I have to say though, some of the things that make me wince about an album like this will actually be the very things that some people find delightful. I've discovered when there are albums where, I mean, this isn't one of the albums actually that I say, really, what does anybody see in this? And then I'll think, oh, that bit's rubbish. That's, that aspect is not good. I've kind of discovered that generally the things that I have problems with albums like that are often the very things that other people really like about the albums. Um, in this case, I think there will be people who really like the way that it's done in a kind of deliberately bad way. It's definitely experimental, definitely arty. Does it say something? I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it says something. If it says something to you, please do let me know in the comment. It's definitely not for everybody, and for me, it's only a little bit for me, to be honest. So that's what I think. And as always, please do let me know what you think of this album by leaving a comment somewhere down there in the comments. And that's it from me for now.